ERC, quality service since 1972, repairing TVs, console stereos, electronic musical instruments, pinball machines, arcade games, and more. Call 836-0454.
This is the Weather Xtreme video for Saturday, June the 27th, and I'm meteorologist Brian Peters coming to you from the lovely Mount Cheehaw and the cool Mount Cheehaw this morning. Nice to have a few degrees cooler. And here's the view off the front porch of the restaurant here, and certainly a hazy looking day as we look down the spine of the Appalachians. And a shot over at Jasper as the sun is beginning to give a little color to the eastern sky. We do have a stationary front just to our north, but you can see the low-level moisture is creating some visibility issues across the southeastern U.S. Nothing really bad, but certainly the haziness is very visible here at Mount Cheehaw. In the upper atmosphere, our ridge is still in place, and that's been hanging tough just about all week, since last weekend as a matter of fact. But it does look like it's going to retrograde just a little bit, and that's going to open the way for maybe some cooler temperatures. Now, we're not talking about cold, but we're certainly talking about cooler. And speaking of temperatures, the only place you can find really cool temperatures are in the northern and central Rockies and over in the northwestern U.S., where temperatures are generally in the 40s and 50s this morning. Across the southeastern U.S., you can notice all those little haze and fog symbols, and certainly we have temperatures generally in the lower 70s. Once again, a few spots probably getting into the upper 60s. Watching carefully Memphis radars, you can see a couple of little storms there. They're generally moving to the southeast. I think probably most of us will stay dry today, but we're going to watch for any kind of development with those. And the QPF certainly keeping most of the northern half of Alabama relatively dry over the next 5 days. Looks like some pretty spotty showers, and probably the best chance coming Sunday afternoon. Storm Prediction Center outlooking a number of areas along the Carolina coast, in the central U.S. from just to the northwest of Chicago, all the way back down to just northwest of Oklahoma City, and then back up in primarily North Dakota. That shifts to the southeast and puts northern Alabama especially under the gun tomorrow. I think that's going to be late in the day and into the evening hours. I think the primary threat is going to be damaging wind and large hail. Although as warm as the atmosphere is, maybe not so much the large hail. And in the tropics, the National Hurricane Center is still watching that cloudy activity down in the western Caribbean, northwestern Caribbean actually, so we'll be watching that. And I wanted to mention real quick about the drought. Certainly we've had over a week of dry weather in central Alabama. We're still not really back to anything that dangerous yet, but this the latest drought monitor doesn't come out until Tuesday, so this will be showing, I think, some indications of maybe getting into abnormally dry for central Alabama. All right, let's get to the 06Z GFS model running. Here we go. The ridge retrogrades by Sunday, putting us more in the northwesterly flow, and notice that big upper low coming into the northern Great Lakes. That will have a surface low associated with it. You can see the weak front down in the vicinity of southeast Missouri, and that will get down into our area by late in the afternoon. That closed low drops in across the northern Great Lakes, and that should bring the front down into our area and by Sunday afternoon, and that would then settle it down into the southeastern U.S. By Monday, putting us in slightly drier and slightly cooler air, which is certainly going to be nice. I noticed the thicknesses drop pretty nicely there. By Tuesday, that little bowling ball is into the eastern Great Lakes, and that, of course, is keeping us pretty dry as the trough axis is to our east. The trough axis remains to our east, but GFS not indicating anything here in the way of any convective complexes in the northwesterly flow, but certainly something we'll need to watch, because as you can see, even through Thursday, as the trough and that closed low begin to weaken some, we're still under northwesterly flow. And even on Friday, and of course I see a little impulse there in the vicinity of Tulsa that is could be responsible for some showers, and indeed the GFS picking up on that, and that brings us back to some scattered showers in central Alabama. By Saturday, we can see those little wiggles coming across, and once again I think the possibility exists, and we'll have to watch with that weak northwesterly flow for the possibility of some of those, but can't forecast those specifically that far out, just watching the trends. All right, getting out into Voodoo, and way out in Voodoo, kind of an interesting pattern. It stays primarily with a ridge through much of the period, but by the end, which is July 12th, it certainly looks like we may have a wetter pattern, especially over the southeastern U.S., and certainly see that from the surface map. Well, listen, thanks for tuning in to the Weather Xtreme video. I hope that you have a great weekend. I'm going to plan on taking a nap in the coolness of Mount Cheehaw. In the meantime, Godspeed.